Well, although it was a win, it was a frustrating afternoon, I think, for the sideline. I think sometimes when you get in these games and you settle in and you get a lead, there's always the concern on our end that our effort, our enthusiasm, our energy level will drop. And I think it did, and that's frustrating because you point that out, you make that sort of your focus, and then when we don't live up to those expectations throughout the game, it's frustrating from a coaching perspective. In the second half, the message at halftime was that, I felt like it was no longer the Hoosiers against Incarnate Word, it was the Hoosiers against the Hoosiers. And I really wanted us to come out and be sound defensively. I wanted us to be efficient on the offensive end. I think for the first time we turned the ball over 16 times. And that's not going to beat East Tennessee State. It's not going to beat Indiana State. It's not going to beat Rutgers. It's not going to beat Boston College. And that's what you're playing for. You're playing for preparation. You're playing to get better. And I thought this afternoon, quite frankly, we took a step back in the direction that I hoped that we would continue to go. As most coaches are thrilled with a victory, it's not that we're not, but it's not the fashion that I would like to have seen us get this win today.
Was it just the turnovers or the shot selection?
I think it was both. I think it was. The 16 turnovers for I can think of a lot of those that were unforced. It wasn't like Incarnate Word pressed us and were up in us defensively, and were tremendously disruptive. I think it was our carelessness. I think it was our lack of urgency, our unfocusedness at times. I thought we had poor shot selection because sometimes, and again I got to be really careful because I think that kick out threes in the system, in your offensive system, are good shots. And even though those shots weren't falling, I was okay with those. But on the flip side of that. You want your players to recognize that, okay, we've missed our last threes, or our last 3 threes that we've taken. Now it's probably this possession. We need to go inside. We need to make sure that we are putting the ball on the floor, attacking, and getting ourselves a high percentage shot and or to the free throw line. And that's what we keep stressing to our team, is that you got to have a sense for how the game's being played. You got to have a sense for possessions that we've just had, and when you come up empty outside the arc, now it's time. Okay, let's go inside. Let's attack. Let's get ourselves to the free throw line. We're 4 games into it. Maybe we just have to continue to emphasize that they understand the importance of that, because it was a little bit frustrating, but. I thought some of our threes were right in our offensive system, and that's where I got to be careful. They're not bad shots. I just wish that we probably could have made some better decisions.
They kind of had a scoring spurt there.
They did in the second half. Give them credit. They were finally knocking down some open shots that they didn't in the first half. I was still frustrated in the first half. We gave up 7 offensive boards, for the game. Second half, it looks like we only gave up 2, so that was moving in the right direction, because we felt like, the other night, giving up 15 offensive boards, something that we can't continue to do. So I was pleased with that. Not pleased with the turnovers, and I thought there was a stretch there in the second half where our lack of leadership right now was not there, and we got to fix that. I got to find 1 or 2 players that want to lead our basketball team when we face some adversity, we face some of those moments where our shot's not falling, to kind of huddle up the group and coach them on the floor. And so that's what we're still in search of with this young team.
You guys haven't scored under 80 all year. Is there a specific number you're looking to get to each game in terms of scoring?
We don't have an offensive goal. I've never philosophically have worried about, or I've always worried about scoring, but I've never really put a number. The only number I put, have always had an expectation for is defensively. And we've hit our defensive goal the last 4 games. You know, we know that this is a group that is skilled, can shoot it, can put points on the board fast. You know, you're still shooting 48%. You look at the stat sheet, you know, what coach in America wouldn't, you know, be pleased with that? It's the other things that perhaps don't show up on this thing that I get concerned about.
Lindsay mentioned that they were trying to sort of toughen up physically for the Big Ten. How much of an emphasis are you personally placing on physicality for the team?
Well, you know, I think Lindsay probably can speak to that best. I've watched the Big Ten last year, you know, just on TV. I've not faced it personally yet. Obviously, I played in it, played in the Big Ten many moons ago. And I know the physicality that we can expect in the Big Ten. I don't think it's a secret that our concern has been from the beginning of this thing is our lack of depth in the post, and how is that going to correlate once we get to Big Ten play. And that continues to be a concern of ours. But you know, I think Jen, I think Lindsay, I think Cahill continues to play really well on both ends. And there's a toughness that those 3 kids have that's tremendous. But you know, we need our perimeter players to come every night with some consistency on the outside, great ball pressure. It can take a lot of pressure off your bigs. You know, if your guards will really try to get up and pressure the ball, that's always helpful.
I think they said Jen, it was kind of a goal to get her the ball early. Was that kind of doing what you wanted them to do?
Yeah, it was. You know, we felt the last 2 games in particular that the advantage was to our post players, Jen and Cahill and Lycum on the inside. And, you know, give Jen credit. As we've said, she continues to have her soft hands. I think our guards have made a commitment to look for her and have put her in really good positions to catch and be able to catch high and finish high. They've got her involved in the offense. And, you know, that's one of the things I'm really proud of, is that we've asked our guards to commit to that, and they have. And so, you know, I think that there are still a lot of areas that we have to improve on. But I will say that I've been really happy with how we've put the ball inside.
I guess, what do you want to see improve going into the next game?
Well, I'd like to see our efficiency offensively. I'd like to you know, take better care of the basketball. I would like to see some progress and some growth from our point guards in particular, and our guards that we rely on, that have been here and have some experience, to recognize and have a pulse on how the game's being played, on possession by possession, whether we're scoring, whether we're not, what we need, what a high percentage looks like, our high percentage shot looks like, how we can get that high percentage shot. Those are all things I'm looking for, including still our ability to defend and be where we need to be, our ability to have contact box outs, you know, all the little things that we talk about the next couple days. Again, we have a quick turnaround. It'll be nice to have 2 days, you know, where we can kind of get back to the nuts and bolts of practice and get back in our shell defense and you know, work for the next 2 days on that end.